Albert Einstein once said, "The decision you make about whether we live in a generous or a scary universe will completely define your whole life." Did you know that deep down we all have made a decision about whether we live in a generous universe or we live in a very scary universe? The truth is, we live in a generous, giving universe. And what does this mean, and why is it important to you when it comes to actually creating a life that you truly love living? Well, hi, I'm Mary Morrissey. I'm the author of 2 best-selling books, No Less Than Greatness and Building Your Field of Dreams, which became a PBS special. I'm also the founder of Life Mastery Institute. I've been teaching and training on the art and science of transformation in individuals and corporations for over 35 years. Many of us focus on getting what we can get from any situation. We're focused on getting and getting and getting. And we find ourselves always on the get frequency, which is actually a lack frequency. We live in a generous, giving universe. And when you practice being generous and practice being in a generous thinking and in a generous language and in a generous way of being, you actually never have to worry about getting because you're on a frequency of increase. And as you know, if I tune to the frequency of CNN, I get the pictures of CNN. CNN, I think, is code for constantly negative news. There's always a bad story. There's always something to be afraid about, always something a bit jarring on CNN. But you have this magic remote control. You can actually change the frequency. And the way you change the frequency in your car, you can change the frequency on your TV. You can change the frequency of your results by how you approach the way you transact and interact, not just with the internet, but the infinite, which is going on all the time between us, our thinking and our feeling and our action. So let me tell you a quick story. There was a young fisherman who had heard about this great fishing stream. And so he went to the fishing stream and he threw his line in and he waited, and he waited, and he waited. And down the riverbank, there was an old fisherman who was just pulling in one fish after another. And the young fisherman is thinking, gosh, he must have some really great bait or something. Then he noticed the old fisherman doing something really odd. The fisherman would pull in one fish after another, but every fish he pulled out of that stream, he would unhook the fish, and then he would take that fish and lay it down on the edge of the riverbank and measure it by a broken-off ruler that he had there laying on the riverbank. And if the fish were bigger than the ruler, he'd actually throw the fish back in the stream. And if the fish were smaller than the ruler, he would put it in his bucket. And the kid is thinking, well, what happens? The fish get bony if they get big? Do they get, is there an ordinance against taking the big fish out? So he goes down, he interrupts the old fisherman and explains, I'm not getting the kind of fish you're getting. I actually haven't caught anything yet. What kind of bait are you using? And by the way, why do you measure the fish the way you're measuring them? And what does that mean? And the old fisherman says, Sonny, first of all, I do measure every fish I pull out of that stream. And I measure it for a good reason. See that broken off ruler? The kid says, yeah. He says, well, I measure the fish by that broken off ruler because I very carefully broke that ruler off at exactly the size of the frying pan I use. Now, we would laugh at a fisherman who did that, not thinking he could actually make use of bigger fish and rearrange the size of the container he's going to cook them in or some other methodology. But here's the deal. We live in a generous universe. We live in a giving universe. That universe is ever giving us signals of more, signals of possibilities, signals, ideas. And a big fish comes your way. A big possibility comes your way. It knocks on the door of your awareness. It says you could be, you could do, you could give, you could have. And you measure it by the frying pan, And you measure it and you say, well, I don't have the money, I don't have the time, I don't have the know-how, I don't have. And often we toss those great big wonderful ideas from a generous universe, seeking to bless, express our lives with greater, freer, fuller life. And we throw that big fish back in the stream and says, give me an idea. Give me a goal that I actually can fit in the frying pan of the life I've been living. My invitation to you is that there's more for you. That longing you have for a greater life is a sacred longing. And as you practice today being a person of increase, as you practice being a person who makes a difference where you are today, in every interaction, in every situation you are today, you're going to find your life expanding. You're going to find yourself more grateful. You're going to find new opportunities coming your way, and some of those will be outside the frying pan If you say, well, let me just entertain this, let me look at what possible way I might be able to engage with this greater idea. There are wonderful dreams with your name on them. So the universe is a generous universe. and you're in it. It's got wonderful gifts and ideas for you, and they're coming to you today. So if you've enjoyed this video, then I encourage you to share it. And then for more proven secrets and some step-by-step strategies so that you could actually live a life you truly love living, then I have a gift for you. So just go ahead and download below, click, and you can download my ebook, Stronger Than Circumstances. Everybody's got a frying pan. Everybody's got some limitation. But there's a way that you can be bigger than that limitation. So download the ebook, Proven Methods for Overcoming Fear, Limitations, and Procrastination, so you too can achieve your dreams.